So to move on to from one trash can to the trash fire, the dumpster, all
The
right,
dumpster fire.
the dumpster fire,
Bring this in a little closer. Make sure they get all the facial expressions.
the Broly 3, Jurassic Park 3, Jaws the Revenge, any
Nah,
three where
I wouldn't
things were
say Jurassic
just.
Park 3. I'd say Jurassic Park 4. I actually enjoyed Jurassic Park 3.
Have you watched it recently?
Because to me, I'm like, this would be a great Dino Crisis if it was a video game.
But
No?
it's not. It's a movie.
The pterodactyls
Sure,
in the
that's one scene.
cage?
That's one scene.
One.
The Spinosaurus that could do math backwards and forwards?
Who they couldn't hear, but they could hear the phone ringing. Right, the 2,000 ton dinosaur. You can't hear his footsteps, but you can hear.
The phone that's supposed to be in its stomach.
Jurassic Park 3, Jaws the Revenge.
Y'all gotta be done. I'm watching it again recently. Where is streaming?
Probably on somewhere. Probably on
Probably
somewhere.
somewhere.
Yeah, because I
Yeah.
felt the same way. I'm like, oh, that was
Me, I
Jurassic.
put my One Piece hat on. All right. Okay, all right.
Yeah, I thought the same way. I'm like, Jurassic Park 3 wasn't that bad. And then I rewatched it, and I was like, oof, oof, oof. So we get to Bio Broly, right? It's set sometime before Majin Buu, like right after the World Tournament kind of concludes. But there's also like this maybe that it takes place after Majin Buu. But to me, I'm like, well, then why wouldn't Goten and Trunks just fuse? So I think the popular theory is that it takes place sometime before they fight Majin Buu, which would explain why Gohan, Vegeta, Piccolo, Goku are not there.
Yeah.
18 goes to Mr. Satan to get her prize money. At the same time, his childhood rival shows up and wants to get revenge for embarrassing him when he was a kid. He creates bio warriors with his money. One of the chief wizard from the last movie has collected some of Broly's blood, so he's using it for a top tier experiment to bring Broly back as a bio warrior. Goten and Trunks tag along. 18 and Goten and Trunks fight the bio warriors, and then Jaguar releases Broly, who is immediately covered in goo.
And mind you, the villain scientist, the shaman, how did you know he was a legendary Super Saiyan? How do you even know what a Super Saiyan is?
The plot required it, Tim. What do you mean?
I was like, that far, I was like, bro, you're a human being who's not part of this clique. How would you know that?
Right. No. Hey. You over there making sense?
It's just like Rita coming out of the moon. They broke my seal. It's time to conquer Earth.
Right. Why Earth? Right? Don't think too hard on the details, right? So, but you're right. Why would he know that this guy is? I mean, it's probably fair to say that he saw the fight, right, from the last movie, but you still wouldn't know what's happening. It wouldn't, like it would have made no difference. But yeah, so they bring back Broly. He's immediately covered in goo. He becomes this bio mutant, essentially Saiyan. They fight him. He eventually overpowers all of them. Trunks uses his brains to cover Broly in more goo. The goo starts to turn into concrete of some sort when it hits ocean water. So Broly's essence starts to overwhelm the goo. He becomes, again, like a mutant, essentially, who becomes a massive form in the ocean, but turns to full cement, and they blow him away, and he dies. And that is Bio Broly. So, yeah. I'll start. I'm actually here to shoot this movie some bail. There is an almost unspoken consensus that this is the worst Dragon Ball Z movie, right? If you were to poll 20 Dragon Ball fans, most of them will say, I think Bio Broly is probably the worst. It's just it ruins the character. It was so much better before. It's this, it's that. Da, 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 da. Everything about this is stupid. Whatever the case may be, right? That's just generally the consensus across the board, right? So that's why he's not usually in the games. That's why he's not usually in any like crossover media. They kind of conveniently skip over him every single time and go straight to Janemba. Um, but when I was rewatching this movie for our series, and I was like, I don't think this movie would have been received as poorly if it wasn't a clone of Broly. If they had said something like we were able to collect Saiyan DNA and the Saiyan was covered, because as soon as he's covered in goo, he's not really Broly anymore. He's a mutant. Like, he's shooting eye lasers, mouth lasers. Krillin cuts his head off with a Destructo disc. It grows right back together. Like, he's not Broly. He's just a bio mutant, essentially. So I feel like, and again, this just might be my opinion, I feel like a lot of this hate is, well, it's not the Broly I remember, so I hate it. Right? So I'm like, if it was like the Bio Saiyan, whatever the case may be, I don't think that saves the movie. Let's be clear. I don't think it saves the movie. But I think it removes some of that bias of like, this is not Broly. What is this? Right? It's because essentially it's a Goten and Trunks adventure. It's much, much better fighting than what we got in Second Coming. By far. Especially like Goten and Trunks' like team attacks against Broly. Like, it's really, really good choreography. And it's a very unique cast. Android 18, Krillin. Like, it's a movie that tries something very, very, very different from what we're used to in Dragon Ball movies. So for me, I was like, I don't think this isn't Shakespeare at all. But I don't think this is any worse to me than Lord Slug by comparison. I would even argue that it's probably just as bad as Second Coming. I don't think it's necessarily worse as a movie to me. But that's kind of my 2 cents. You guys are feel free to interject and we can debate it. I don't hate it.
I'll go first. All right. The one thing I did enjoy about this movie was the fight scene choreographies between Goten and Trunks. And even just the hilarious parts of like 18, like, okay, yeah, you knew 18 was able to hold her ground to a certain extent. I just love the fact, like, the premise of this movie is like, Hercule, where's my cash, bro?
Where's my money, man? Where's my money?
The tournament is over. The tournament is over due to some madman blowing up half the stadium. So yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll have it, and it just becomes something else.
Yeah.
It's just like to be honest, to me, like, I would have felt like, yes, like how you just said, if this was just about fighting bio warriors, like because we've seen it before, like World's Strongest, they were bio warriors. Like, we live in a world of Dragon Ball Z where there are factors like these things. Like, you had more than one scientist dude making androids and stuff like that. So, like, you got multiple set of demons. You don't really, oh, I was able to find some blood from this madman who came from the glacier, and so you was able to find blood, and you just thought like, oh yeah, I know this guy.
This got to be him.
And of course, like, you wanted revenge on these kids because they made you look bad. Of course, I get that. But so you didn't see how that person basically almost obliterated the planet the last time. You thought making a copy, and that you think humankind has the technology to control something like that. Okay. Okay, man. And it's just, yeah, overall, bro, it was just one of those, like you just had money to just throw away in terms of animation and drawing. And then I kind of feel like, dog, did the people who made this, did they even enjoy this? Like, because they, like, bro, look at that, bro. Like, come on. Like, there's no way you thought this Swamp Thing beaten heart version of Broly, and he didn't even go Legendary Super Saiyan. He just went from regular Super Saiyan to that. You really thought that this was the best way? Like, it's to the fact that he's so bad, bro. They barely put him in games.
Yeah.
That's how
which I
bad this
think is
character.
unfair. I think that's unfair. Personally, that's not fair.
It's just like, what is this, bro?
That's not fair. How is this?
What is this?
How is this any worse than Slug? Tell me, how is this any worse than Willow?
Actually, no, it is a bit worse, bro. It
How?
is because
Tell me.
first of all, it's very lazy design. I mean, well, it's but then
Super,
it's also to the
super
point.
lazy design.
It's also to the point like, what could you really do with this character? Like, and that's what this character represents. You have hit a point where you don't know what to do. You just don't know what to do, and that's why the last two movies they tried to do their very best because this was a pinnacle point. I think this was a pinnacle point in Dragon Ball Z that, bro, people was starting to get scared. Like, we don't want to invest in y'all no more because, like, what is this? So yeah, bro, I give this a 2 out of 10.
It's worse than Second Coming. You think?
Yes,
Really?
it's worse.
I, okay.
It's worse, bro.
Okay. Okay. S rank. Go ahead. Let me hear your thoughts.
F plus, man. I don't care how good the choreography was. I don't care that 18 was in the movie. Did a little something, something, but not enough. That right there was a missed opportunity, right? Could have been adventures with 18, Trunks, but no, nope, nope. 18 wanting to get our money from the tournament. Genius. Y'all ain't do nothing with that. Y'all played beatbox. Fidel, and it just was Broly coming back again,
Again.
right? And then okay, right, you gonna bring him back. I'm thinking, okay, Broly's back. The setting was interesting. I'm not gonna lie, the setting was interesting, but the henchmen,
They're Bio Warriors.
yeah, but the henchmen didn't even look interesting. They were literally just. It's like Toriyama, that staff, they drew the characters one time. I, and to me, they remind me of the Golden Dragon and that Blue Dragon from Dragon Ball Z GT. I mean, from Dragon Ball GT. The
No, bro.
terrible
No.
designs, terrible designs.
Okay. I'm
They
about to
look
show a
like
picture of them right now.
Harudegar from far away, and I'm just those. And then to me, no, this is no. Come on, guys.
Yeah. Yeah, because, bro, how you go from Bio Warriors from the second movie to that? To that. Like, bro, the green dude is just Spopovich, but naked and green.
Yeah.
No, no, man. This is not.
Like, no, bro.
This is
No.
not it. You got a Namekian in the background. You got a Humekian. You got a Cybermenian. A Boobalon. Like dog, booing. No way, man. Like,
I mean, to be clear, I'm not defending the designs. I just when I'm like
no.
when it
This
like
is
their
if
presence in the movie is minimal. Like they're
And
not
you,
like they
and
don't
you,
play a key part. They don't even have names.
and you know what I also didn't like? So I remember in the ending they said, "Oh yeah, Goku, Broly's just showed up in hell and he's causing a ruckus." So you mean to tell me, since there was a clone of Broly out there, that his soul never made it?
It's funny because I was doing a little bit of research before we started this. Apparently, that's an English mistranslation because the line in Japanese it still references Broly, but they're talking about the original Broly who died in movie 10 to imply that he's mad that he was cloned and now he's causing a ruckus in hell. It's not the actual Bio Broly that just died. I ain't saying it makes it better. I'm just saying that's the
yeah.
actual intention of the line.
Yeah, it's booty, man. It's trash, bro. It's garbage, like the worst of the worst. When he came and I'm like, wait, when did he get damaged to the point where he had chest beams? Now you can hear his throbbing heart.
Because
Wasn't
he's
he
a
in full?
mutant, bro. It's
And then
not
he
Broly.
then he turned into a kaiju.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
not,
Bro,
bro. It's that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like, and that's what I'm like.
yeah.
Again,
So
I'm not
they
saying the movie's good.
even
I'm not.
even if they
I'm
didn't
not.
call it
But
Brawly,
I'm like, this is not Broly. This is not
even
Broly.
You're right. Even if it wasn't Broly, still Gar.
You know what they could have done? Because
Bosh.
you remember, all right, I did like the fact that they had 18 in this. This could have been the fact that, like, this character, Lord Jaguar, has connections to the Red Ribbon Army. It's like, oh, you're one of Dr. Giro's leftovers, and then, but here's another competitor. These biomutants, it could have added in some more Dr. Giro, Dr. Willow type of lore aspects. Androids or mutants versus androids. Mutants versus androids. But it's just like, bro, it was just Power Ranger colors, Spopovich naked. And
Yeah.
it's just like, come on, bro. It's like the
And
design
then boy,
part, man.
boy
The
zesty
design
with
part of it
veins
was
all over
just
them.
downhill, bro. It's like, how do you have
Talk,
better designs for henchmen in
talk to me,
movie one,
talk to
two,
me, Tim.
three,
Talk to me, man.
1, 2, and 3, and this is where we are right now?
Oh. Yo,
You mean to tell me
yo,
movies that are the same age as us had
they
better
drew him one
design?
time. They drew them one time. Final draft?
Oh yeah. But make sure they have lots of veins, especially around the pelvic area.
Yo, them boy and his dog. None of them boys blinking, kid. Like, like who is at these meetings, kid? Like, them boys must have been pressed for time. I don't know, but nah, dog, that was not it, man. That movie was shit. It was.
This
And
is
then
worse
we
than
got
Lord
to,
Slug.
yeah, by far.
So okay, we can have a debate, right? I'm gonna give y'all both some pushback because we just got finished saying that Lord Slug had a plot that made no sense, right? That was y'all words, not mine.
You know, it's on the same par. If not, it's the same film. It's the same butter.
Yeah, it's on the
Same
Y'all
same
butter.
said
level. It's on the same
Same butter
level.
this was
toast.
y'all words.
Same butter. I ain't gonna
Because
lie. That's
again, I'm not
yeah.
saying I'm
It's
not
under Low
saying
Slug.
I'm not saying Bio Bro is a good movie. Like I don't
It's under
want when
Low
we start
Slug.
clipping this up and people are like, "What?" I'm this. Let me be clear.
It's under.
I'm not saying that
It's
Bio
under Low
Broly is a
Slug.
good film. But what I'm
Mm.
saying is when they say it's undeniably the worst film, I'm like, I disagree. I disagree. Because I could argue that Bio Broly's choreography was better than Broly the Second Coming and better than Lord Slug. I could argue that the plot premise made more sense than the first Broly movie. So, what are we really talking about? Granted, yes, it's like, is this garbage can nicer than that garbage can? Right? That's literally what we're comparing. But when everyone's like, it's so bad, I'm like, I'm not. I'm not trying to be a contrarian for contrarian's sake. I'm like, I don't see what makes this worse than some of the worst Dragon Ball movies we've covered.
It was lazy. It was just lazy, bro.
So was Lord Slug.
No, it's all right. Yes, it was. Again, no, but this was like back in the days, like when you try to do your math homework and like you did like a quarter of the problem, but you wanted the teacher to give you the full credit for, but just like you didn't do the full problem, bro. You just did 2 plus 5, but you didn't do multiple or in the parentheses. You just gave up. Like that's how this feels, bro. Like when you're doing algebra and you only do the first step and then you just say forget the other 5, but you want half credit.
Never solved for X.
No, bro, and that's exactly how this feels, bro. It's lazy. It's just so lazy. Like I
Oh
said, man,
man.
it's a much better like cast of characters because I like all right, 18 and Goten and Trunks. I feel good with that. Even Krillin shows up to be the
And he's
boo.
not useless in that
Yeah,
movie.
not useless. So okay, that's cool. But it's just the villain choices, man. It's like, bro, it's kind of like Dragon Ball Z forgot the world that they've built. It's like, first of all, bro, you did not have to bring any connection to Broly. You didn't. You
Yeah,
have
I think
bio
that
warriors.
was the
You
worst thing
have
with this
mutants.
movie. I agree.
You have demons.
I agree.
You have aliens. You have so many things you could pull from.
Yeah, that was by far the worst. I mean, from a marketing aspect, of course, you can think of why they went that route, right? Because it's like if you're thinking of like what's going to get butts in seats, and again, Japan apparently loves Broly, so it's like you see as soon as you see Broly, it's like oh Broly, like run to the theater.
Mhm.
But I agree, like making it Broly was like this was a horrible idea.
No, you basically, just like how you said in the last movie, you basically connected. You turned Broly into Jason. This was Jason X. Oh, let's turn Jason into a cyborg. Oh yeah, let's turn Broly into
He
a
looked like the Swamp
let's
Thing, man.
let,
Like,
let,
let's
let's
turn him to.
let's have a clone of Broly, but then an accident happens and he becomes like a liquid monster with
Mm-hmm.
Super Saiyan hair.
Yeah, and the same green balls of energy and
Bleh,
yeah.
bleh. Like it's basically the Pokemon Muck with them green blobs. Like
Yeah.
Jason X, bro. Bio
Oh
Broly.
my
That's
gosh,
that's
Broly and
exactly
Grimer do
what it
the
was.
fusion dance.
Wait, Fusion, they're in this movie, right?
No, they,
No,
No?
they,
I
they
was about to
don't
they
fuse
say.
don't
yet. Remember,
fuse.
this is before.
This is before Majin Buu,
Yeah.
so no fusion.
Hence the next movie, Fusion Reborn.
Right,
Oh,
where
y'all want fusions? Y'all get two of them.
right, even one that makes no sense. Well, that's a video in its own. I just again when it comes to this movie, like I said, I'm not saying it's good. I'll say it on record. I think all of the Broly movies are different levels of bad to me. I don't think
Yeah.
they're not great. They're really not great. I just when it comes to Bio Broly specifically, I don't think it doesn't deserve the like unquestioned hate that it gets when you look at some of these other movies that came before it. I'm like, I just don't see how this is worse than in terms of plot and execution than some of the other movies we've covered already. I don't see it. You could say the design is trash. It is, right? Again, pulling from Broly was the worst mistake. But again, it's like Dr. Willow in the sense that they went for something that just didn't really work. Like it's just like I see what you were trying to do, but this is not
This is not how you do it.
this is not how this gets done at all. You failed in every aspect.
That you could.
Yeah.
And then after that, bro, it was just done, bro. They had to make a comeback.
And boy, did they. If you want to talk about spectacle in these next two movies, if you want to talk about iconic shots, did they? Villains? But visual flair? Yeah. But that's these are the four movies, right? Broly the Legendary Super Saiyan, BoJack Unbound, Broly Second Coming, Fire Broly. Rating wise, I give Fire Broly like a same thing, like a 3 out of 10. I personally enjoy it more than Lord Slug in terms of again choreography. I think the choreography is a saving grace for me. They did some really cool fight scenes in this movie, but that's ranking to the two. Yeah, I'll stand on this island by myself. I'm like, I think you don't get worse than Lord Slug. Even with the henchmen, I'm like, putting demon wings on Zarbon and Dodoria doesn't make it a good movie. Sorry.
Like
Sorry.
I said, bro, they should. Like I said, bro, they should have taken inspiration from King Piccolo because you mean tell me you got Piccolo in this movie, you got Krillin in this movie, but imagine if one of the henchmen was like a tambourine-looking figure. That's gonna make Krillin like whoa. Cause remember that was the first person to kill Krillin.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, Piccolo never really got to know his siblings like that. So now here's a Namekian with these Namekian like hybrids, so to speak. But then, no, of course, no, he's just roaming through space and he just found this crew. Like, all right, how many times We got to come across aliens with an alien crew.
Mm-hmm. A motley ragtag group of people who are together for the common goal in mind. Hurrah! Pshaw! So that's yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for this third entry of Dragon Ball Z films in retrospect. Now, the next time we do this, we will be covering the last two Dragon Ball movies, which will be Fusion Reborn and Wrath of the Dragon. So until then, if you made it this far in the video or made it this far in listening to the podcast, we appreciate y'all. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Your feedback makes us better at what we do. We love doing these type of things, so we only want to improve. Until then, this is the Press Start Select podcast. I am Antonius the Gamer, Super SSS rank, Mikkel Smith, and we will see y'all next time. Peace.